Oh, that's what this is. It's like the sex appeal tier list ranking. It's not about fashion anymore. It's about how fuckable they are.
What is your podcast about? Hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. You know me. I'll kill anybody, but I'll only sleep with someone I love. Baby, she's a slut, just like her mother.
Hi there, cutie patootie, and welcome back to Horror Icon, your queer playground for all things scary, sexy, and stupid. Now, you know me, I'm Crybaby, the spooky slut from your wettest nightmares, and today we're doing another tier list, baby! Yes, that's what's up! Oh, I'm kind of excited about this. But first, here's a little bit of the tea. Bitching the pot, so to speak. Originally, I was going to be releasing the Curse of Chucky episode today with Donnie. But due to some unfortunate circumstances, Donnie and I were unable to record our episode in time. And so, I mean, I was originally just going to kind of, just release the episode when I was able to, but I'm trying to be consistent here. I'm trying to make some magic, and I still honestly just wanted to get something out to y'all because at the end of the day, I love talking about horror. I'm very passionate about this project in general, and I figured why not do another tier list? I had a lot of fun with the first one that I did, which if you haven't seen or listened to, you should definitely go check it out. I covered the Final Destination deaths from the first Final Destination all the way through the newest Final Destination Bloodlines. It was a lot of fun, and I decided maybe about like an hour ago to do it again. So, I mean, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably gonna be a short one. Mama threw this together literally right before I started recording. So, as the title may suggest, we are going to be taking a look at and ranking the looks of some of our favorite horror movie killers. And when I say some of our favorite, I really just mean like the 27 or so that I was able to pull off of the top of my head when I was putting this tier list together. I probably missed some of your faves, and if I did, that's fine. Honestly, let me know. If y'all want a part 2 of this, I will do a part 2 of this. So get at me. If I missed anybody that you want to see, email me. Throw it in the comments. Find me on the street and scream it in my face. No, don't do that last part. But before we look at the tier lists and who I selected to rank, I just want to take a second to talk about what makes an iconic horror movie killer. There's a lot to it because there's so many out there, right? There's an abundance of horror movies with different killers, but only a few have stuck. I think there's a couple of things that really make a killer stand out. I think one thing is it has to be scary. There has to be some sort of element to it that is terrifying, because at the base level, when you're designing a killer or a villain to terrorize this group of people, they have to be terrifying. So that's criteria number one. Is it scary? If I saw this in my apartment right now, would I be terrified? I also think it has to be recognizable, right? Like the silhouette test. If I were to show you an outline of this killer, no details, would you be able to clock it? Would you be able to identify who it is? I think that's super important too. Along with that, I think something that helps make an impactful image with a horror killer is a story. What details are there that are telling a story? Like, how is it connected to the killer's origin, or is there a theme that we're following? Those details can really help elevate a killer's look. And then I think finally, it's just gonna come down to whether or not I like it. Let's be honest. Those three things are very important, and those will probably weigh a lot on my decisions. But at the end of the day, it's just do I like it? Is it something that I enjoy? Does it tickle me? Now that begs the question is, who am I? Who am I to judge the fashion choices of killers? Honestly, no one. I'm not anyone. I'm sitting here in freaking a tank top and gym shorts and the same faded ass baseball cap that I wear all the fucking time. So a fashion icon, I am not. But it doesn't matter. This is my fucking show, right? And I like what I like, so we're gonna talk about it. And with that said, Mama, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the 5 tiers that we're going to use to rank our horror couture, so to speak. Now, starting with our top tier, the God tier, I have Call Robert 1 right now, which, if you don't know who Robert 1 is, you got to check him out. Robert 1, that's WUN 1. He is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, fashion designer right now. He has such a dark, romantic whimsy to his pieces that is just, it hits all the right spots for me. I had to pay homage to him with our top tier, of course. So, first tier, Call Robert 1 right now. Our second tier is Slate It. No, really, Dial 911. That's for ones that I can see are great. Like, they're good. They're not my favorite. They're not like god level tier, but they are a good design and I appreciate them. Our mid tier is Costume Party Realness. So this is one where it's like, it's cute. I can clock it. Like, I know what it is, but I'm not impressed. That don't impress me much. Look what you did, Shania. All right, our second to last tier is she's a full-on Monet. So for those of you who haven't seen Clueless, what it means to be a Monet is like from far away, it looks pretty good. But when you get up close, it's a total mess. So that's our second to last tier. Decent from far away, but not pleasing up close. Or the more I sit with it, the more I'm just like, whatever. And then our final tier is Spirit Halloween Clearance. Totally unimpressed, uninspired, basic, cheap, not my gig. Those are our 5 tiers, baby cakes. We have Call Robert 1 right now, Slate It, no really, Call 911, Costume Party Realness, She's a Full-On Monet, and Spirit Halloween Clearance. So without further ado, our first fashion victim is the Fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Oh, the Fisherman. So this guy, I don't really like the Fisherman. I'm just gonna say it right now. I Know What You Did Last Summer is pretty cool. The Fisherman is pretty not cool. I would say the only bullet point, the asterisks that I will put with that is in the chase scene with Sarah Michelle Gellar, which one of the best chase scenes ever. In that chase scene, when they're in the department store and you see his silhouette with the slicker and the fishing hat and the hook, like, that's good. I do like that silhouette, but it is quite basic. It's a slicker and a fishing hat and a hook. Like, what's special about it? Yeah, we get it. You're a fisherman. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna put it in like, she's a full on Monet. From far away, she's cute, but up close, I'm not really digging it. So, all right, up next we have Pinhead from the Hellraiser franchise. Ugh, daddy, I love Pinhead. Just from a character design, the Cenobites in general are just delicious. I have to I have to step up real quick and just acknowledge the praise that I have for Clive Barker and the team that brought his book to life. If you haven't seen Hellraiser, watch it. It's horny, it's dark, it's romantic, it's gothic. There's so much that I love about it, and a huge part of that is the Cenobites and their design. And Pinhead is just kind of the one that stood out. The rows of pins coming out of his head and like the chains and the leather. And I think it's leather. It's very shiny for leather. But either way, it's very fetish gear and very BDSM coded, which, I mean, Clive Barker has been very open about his BDSM influence in his work and him being a queer man as well. I love seeing that shit. I love seeing that shit on screen. So Pinhead's going right up at the top. Call Robert 1 right now. He is sexy. And honestly, if I had all of the money in the world, I would probably own a lot of pieces that are akin to what Pinhead is wearing. And God knows I love a piercing, so I'd be covered in them. All right, next up we have Carrie White. Specifically, Carrie White at her most powerful, at her badassest, when she is covered in pig's blood and just fucking killing everybody. This is like the good for you moment. Yes, this is what I wanted to look like in my prom. It's bloody. It's so iconic. The image of this teenage girl just covered in blood, it's scary. It's unnerving. I feel bad for her. I love her. Also referenced a lot. This Carrie White bloody prom look, I feel like it gets referenced quite a bit. It's been referenced a few times on Drag Race, of course. And I just think in general, I see a lot of clothing replicating that bloody, covered in blood look. So I do love it. She slayed it. No, really, call 911. She's pretty iconic. One of my favorite horror killer images out there is Carrie White covered in blood. All right, we got another bad bitch coming on up. We got Megan M3 Gin, who has her sequel coming out next week, Megan 2.0, which looks interesting. I'm intrigued. I don't know if I'm sold, but I'll watch it. I'm also interested to see, because it looks like they're going to be redesigning the character. So I'm interested to see what they change and how Megan evolves. But Megan in the first movie, we all know, if you were online when this movie came out, that trailer dropped and queer Twitter picked that shit up and ran with it. Like, she was so fucking cunty, mama. I was obsessed. The dress, the bow, the sunglasses, the shoes, very fun and very instantly recognizable. So she's going and slayed it. No, really, call 911. I think Megan has quite the iconic look, and it is a little fashionable. A bit Lolita, but I mean, I guess she is a children's toy, so there's that. All right, up next we have the Strangers. This is a group of 3. They all have different masks. We have like a doll face, we have like a sack face, and it's just these 3 bitches terrorizing Liv Tyler and her not fiance in their secluded home. It's okay. If I were to see these 3 people in my apartment right now, I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it. Oh, that's true. I would not be happy about it. But there's just something very not specific about some of this that I'm just not super crazy about. The only one that I do like would be Dollface. She's the one she's wearing a yellow dress and she has that almost like Betty Boop looking ass mask. I think she's cute. But the rest of it is it's kind of forgettable. I think what they do is more scary than how they look. Home invasion is fucking terrifying, but they look fine. I'll just put them in the middle tier, costume party realness. I'm not displeased with it. There's some effective moments, I think, but it's just when I think of iconic horror movie looks, they're definitely not on my list right away. All right. Billy the Puppet, this cunty motherfucker, tricycling around in a suit, blushed the fuck up. I mean, I'm gonna have to put it up in the top. Call Robert 1 right now. I love a suit. I love a bitch in a suit, especially with a little bow tie. The spiral blush takes me out. The only thing I'll knock is the hair. I'm not one to talk. My wigs look like shit, but I'm not in $1 million movie or $1 billion movie. However much this movie was. I'm not an antagonist in a horror movie, okay? My wigs can look like shit. Low stakes. But I digress. Billy the Puppet, regardless of the ratty ass looking hair, I fucking love that bitch. So cute. If I did see him tricycling into my bedroom, I would shit myself. There's something about like tiny little things that's a little unnerving. All right, we have a big hitter coming up. We have Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger. So here's the thing about Freddy. There's so much. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that positively. Because again, thinking on like iconic horror movie slashers, iconic horror killers, they'll generally have like 1 or 2 specific things. You have Jason with his hockey mask, Chucky is a doll, Michael Myers with his mask. There's just like one thing that makes them recognizable. Freddy, on the other hand, that motherfucker has a hat. That motherfucker has a Christmas dirty ass striped sweater. He has his little claws. And he looks like a burnt cheese pizza. Like, there's so much to him that is instantly recognizable and instantly iconic. And he is scary. With the exception of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Because that movie, he is a joke. But beyond that, he is horrifying. And he is also going top tier. I feel like I would get shot if I didn't put Freddy Krueger in the top tier. And he's not going in the top tier because I'm afraid of getting shot. He's going in the top tier because I think he belongs there. All right, we have Heart Eyes. Heart Eyes came out earlier this year, and it's a movie by Josh Rubin, whom I fucking love. I think Josh Rubin is so funny. I saw his movie, I think it's called Scare Me or something like that. I really enjoyed that. It's like a single location. They're just telling scary stories kind of movie. That one's really fun. So yeah, I like Josh Rubin. Heart Eyes as a movie, it was fine, but I do like Heart Eyes' character design. I don't know if I'm the minority on this one, but his mask, it's like this helmet kind of thing with two heart eye cutouts, and they're lit up like with like red LEDs. And I just think that's cute. It's topical, Heart Eyes is a Valentine's Day slasher, so it fits with the theme. I just like the look. I don't know exactly what it is. It's probably the lights. I like shiny things. But I am gonna put Heart Eyes. You can shoot me. I'm gonna put him up and slate it. No, really call 911. I really like that mask. I think it's cute in a scary kind of way. So there's that. Oof. Okay, so now we're moving on to Jason Voorhees. Now, Jason Voorhees has three looks that I'm going to talk about. We're going to first talk about Sackhead Jason from Friday the 13th, Part 2. This is before Jason gets the hockey mask. It's where he's wearing like a potato sack or something, a burlap sack over his head with the one eye cut out. Very similar to one of the strangers. The daddy stranger has a sack over his head too. I do like Jason's a little bit more. I think it's a bit scarier. There's this one shot specifically towards the end where the final girl, Ginny, is in like some shed or shack or something, and we see behind her through the window Jason in all of his sack-headed glory running towards the shack, and it's scary. It's a really scary shot. Is the sackhead as iconic as the hockey mask? No. And for that reason, I can't put it in top tier. I do think I am going to put it in second tier. She slayed. I'll put it behind Carrie White because it's good. It's scary. It's just not the best. But speaking of the best, we have Hockey Mask Jason, which is Jason as we all know and love him in the majority of his movies. Obviously, he's going to go in the top tier, call Robert 1 right now. Jason was my favorite growing up when I was a scared little gay boy watching horror movies. I found him to be the scariest. The hockey mask was fun, and it's just iconic. I think outside of the horror sphere, I find that a lot of people, when they reference slasher movies, they reference the slasher killer wearing a hockey mask. They don't identify Jason by name, but it's always like a hockey mask. And so I think that has to give us something. The hockey mask Jason has moved beyond the horror landscape into a wider pop culture level of understanding and visibility. So he has to go in the top tier. And then our final one is Uber Jason from Jason X. So Jason X, honestly, a criminally overhated Friday movie, in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it and they think it's trash, which, like, I'm not going to tell you how to feel, but I will argue for this movie. I think Jason X is fun. I love Jason Goes to Space. I think it's just really cheeky and it's something new for the franchise. And I just love having this relic of the 80s of, like, camp slashers thrown into a futuristic kind of environment. It's really fun. It's really playful. And so how Uber Jason comes about is he gets like shot or obliterated or something. They think that they kill him. But futuristic technology, they have nanobots that are able to repair and replace tissue to heal people. It's a medical thing. And as it turns out, they killed Jason Voorhees right next to the nanobot machine. So those nanobots come out and they put Jason back together and they replace a lot of his tissue with metal and shit, and we end up with this big hulking metal masked daddy as fuck Jason. Don't judge me, but it's hot. I think it's kind of hot. I like Uber Jason, and I everybody's going up here, but he's going in Slate It. No, really call 911. I'm gonna put him above Megan. Don't shoot me for that one. I really like Uber Jason. I think it's just a fun variant of Jason Voorhees as we know him. Alrighty. Bride of Frankenstein. She's cunty as fuck. I love the Bride of Frankenstein. First off, she's gorgeous. This woman is beautiful. And her silhouette, iconic. The hair with the white stripe, wonderful. Her white gown getup, dignified, elegant, cutesy, sexy. She's going in the top tier. Gosh, I must be really, really in a good mood today because everybody is getting ranked pretty high. But I think Bride of Frankenstein totally deserves it. She's stunning and she walked so other horror icons could run. Let's be honest. She's like the blueprint. And speaking of the Bride of Frankenstein being a blueprint, we're going to talk about Tiffany Valentine from The Bride of Chucky. First, I have Tiffany Valentine in human form when she's her sexy, corseted, trailer park, living blonde babe. I love her style. I think she's so sexy. She's very, very hot. So, Tiffany in human form is going to go and slate it. No, really, call 911. And she's going to have to go at the top of that tier. Move over, Carrie. There we go. Yes, Tiffany Valentine. This also might get rearranged. If it's too top heavy, I may have to bump some bitches down. We'll see. But right now, we have a solid 11 of the 13 that I've talked about so far are in the top 2 tiers. So, whoops. We'll see if that changes. Now we have Doll Tiffany. And Doll Tiffany, I see so many gay boys dressed as Tiffany for Halloween. I don't know how I feel about that, but she's iconic. Everybody wants to be her. Everybody wants to be Doll Tiffany. And I get it. Barbie, eat your heart out. Although I will say I do think that in Bride of Chucky, Doll Tiffany looks more like Tara Reid than she does Jennifer Tilly. But that's besides the point. She still looks great. I was very upset when she got thrown into the oven. And that's how I know she belongs in the top tier, because I was so attached to her look that it physically pained me when she got thrown in the oven, got burnt to a crisp, and did not look like that anymore. Very upsetting. Very upsetting. All right, so we're going from Tiffany to Chucky. I have 2 Chuckies. We have classic Chucky. This is our Chucky from Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. He's fine. Redheaded good guy doll. I like Chucky better when he's animated as Chucky. When he's just that fuck-ass doll with a big-ass head, I don't like it as much. But when he's up and moving, he's cute, he's fun, he's iconic. He used to scare me when I was a kid, but I know a lot of people who are still scared by him. I am going to have to throw Chucky in Slate It, No Really, Call 911. He's not quite my favorite, most iconic in his classic form, but I feel like it would be a disservice to not put him higher up because he is a very, very recognizable horror character. And the overall and red shoes are just to die for. But next, we're moving on to Franken-Chucky, whom I am going to throw in our top tier. Franken-Chucky. This is Chucky from Bride of Chucky through, I guess, technically Cult of Chucky. But this is the Chucky that's all stitched together. Of course, paying homage to Frankenstein, the inspiration to Bride of Chucky. So I like that. I think it's clever. I think it's cute. I think it makes a lot of sense with the story, considering how Chucky had died in Child's Play 3. And also, just like, if you were alive in the 90s, that motherfucker's face was everywhere. Everywhere promoting that movie. So yes, he's iconic. He's going in our top tier. Call Robert 1 right now. Like, a wonderful character design. Okay. Bagul. Bagul is from Sinister. If you haven't seen Sinister, it's probably one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It is one of the horror movies that genuinely, as an adult, scared the shit out of me. Bagul is the big bad of that movie, and he is also kind of sexy. Oh my god. This is turning into just like whether or not I would fuck these people. Ugh. Maybe that's why so many of them are top tier. But I'm sorry, he's sexy. He's in a suit. He has the top button unbuttoned. He has like scraggly hair. And his face is terrifying. He's gonna have to go and Slate It, No Really, Call 911 too. This is so top heavy, everybody. I'm just gonna recap right now. So in our toppest tier, our tippity top tier, we have Pinhead from Hellraiser, Billy the Puppet, Freddy Krueger, Hockey Mask Jason, The Bride of Frankenstein, Doll Tiffany, and Franken-Chucky. And then in our second tier, Slate It, No Really, Call 911, we have Classic Chucky, Human Tiffany Valentine, aka Jennifer Tilly, Carrie White, Sackhead Jason, Uber Jason, Bagul, Megan, and Heart Eyes. I think before I move forward, I might rearrange some things. I think Heart Eyes, I am going to move down one to Costume Party Realness. The more I sit with it, the more I'm like, it's cute, but it's been one movie. I don't think it's like super duper iconic. And with that, I'm also probably going to move the Strangers down to She's a Full-On Monet. So we just moved 2 down. Let me see what else. Oh, I don't know if I have the heart to move anybody else down lower. Guys, this is a problem. Are you going to be mad at me if like everybody is highly ranked? That's not interesting. That just makes me a lover. I mean, I love being a lover. Oh my god. I did not expect to fall into an existential crisis during this. Okay. Listen, not everybody can make varsity. Sackhead Jason, you're going to go down to Costume Party Realness. I know you were scary, but there really wasn't anything identifiable about you, actually. I'm just like, I ranked you higher just because of that one shot with you running towards Ginny. All right. I think that's it. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. So I moved, just to recap, I moved Heart Eyes and Sackhead Jason down to our 3rd tier, Costume Party Realness. And then I moved the Strangers down to our 4th tier, She's a Full-On Monet. I might do this again. We'll see. But anyway, forward and onward, we're going to move on to our next babe. We're going to move on to Ghostface. Ghostface is kind of a queen. There's a lot of swooshing fabric. It's a little sparkly. I don't know if y'all clocked that. The fabric of the Ghostface costume is quite sparkly and shiny, which I like. Of course, the face itself is iconic, and it's gonna have to. I just moved a bunch of people down so I could put Ghostface in the top tier. Ghostface is really an icon. I love it. It is scary. I remember the first time I watched Scream, Ghostface scared the shit out of me. I actually couldn't look at the masks without like being afraid. Instantly recognizable. The Ghostface is synonymous with Scream, so we have to. All right, up next we have the Tethered from Us. These are the people that live underground and then have their uprising to kill their doppelgangers. You know, it's almost like a prison uniform. It's bright red, which is a lovely color. I personally don't think I look good in red. I don't really wear red that much, but Lupita Nyong'o looks great in red. And I think, well, the character's name is Red, so there's also that. Kind of culty looking, which tugs at a little special place in my heart. It is quite basic, and it's not really that scary. So I'm gonna put it in She's a Full-On Monet. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing. There are impactful moments to this look. It's more impactful when you see all of the Tethered together wearing this red because it feels very culty. It feels very like you're being outnumbered. That's cool. But on an individual level, it's just, it's kind of pedestrian. Candyman. Oh, I love Tony Todd. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. Tony Todd's fucking incredible. And Candyman is also really sexy. Oh, ooh, that's what this is. It's like the sex appeal tier list ranking. It's not about fashion anymore. It's about how fuckable they are. Ooh, I can't disrespect Tony Todd like that. He has to at least go and Slade it. No, really, call 911. I mean, the hook hand is wonderful. Much better than the fisherman's hook hand because it's like in his body. And then the coat is just so sexy and like the frilly white shirt underneath it. And I mean, Tony Todd is just like handsome. And then the bees. We have the bees, which is wonderful. So Candyman is going to go in our 2nd tier. Slate it. No, really, call 911. Up next, we have the Urban Legend Killer. Now, if you're having a hard time remembering what the Urban Legend Killer looks like, that's kind of my point here. It's a parka. That's it. It's just a hooded, fuzzy coat. I live in New York City. I see these everywhere. There's nothing scary about it. So our first ever bottom tier Spirit Halloween clearance is going to the Killer from Urban Legend in that fucking parka. Very underwhelming. Very pedestrian. Nothing chic or scary about it. Ugh. Okay, whew. Now I feel better. I feel better now that I put somebody in the bottom tier. It feels like a real tier list now. All right, we only have 6 left. So we have Leprechaun, that little shitbox. Is he like, is it iconic? Sure. I mean, it's a little top hat with like little fussy shoes and stuff. I mean, he's gross, which plays in his favor, but I had to really dig to think about him to put him on this list. So it didn't really stick with me, him as a killer. Yes, there is the whole being on theme thing with like him being a leprechaun. I don't even know if that's a theme. That's just him. The fuck am I talking about? Anyway, he's gonna go in costume party realness. Like, it's okay. Not my favorite. Doesn't really stand out, but it has some good fun details in there. So that's that. Okay, The Black Bride from Insidious. This is the last horror movie villain that I pulled before I started recording. I don't know how she ended up on my list, if I'm being honest, but she's here. If you haven't seen Insidious, it's just she's like a ghost that's wearing all black with a black veil, spooky face. She is scary. When I saw Insidious, it did scare me, but I am going to dock points due to the transphobic narrative of this character. Not happy about that. I don't remember which movie. I think it was Insidious 2 or whatever. By the time that movie came out, we as a society should have moved far beyond the trans killer trope. I'm over it. It's reductive, it's uninspired, it's harmful. So the Black Bride is going to go in Spirit Halloween clearance, pretty much based on that. That's probably why she ended up on my list, because I wanted to shit on the whole trans narrative that they shoehorned in there for that character. So unnecessary, stupid, harmful. All right. Next, we have Other Mother from Coraline. We have two variants of this one. We have the basic Other Mother with her fucking sweater, her button eyes, and her oven mitts. She's cute. There is like a bit of a story there, but again, it is quite pedestrian. I do love the button eyes though. I think the button eyes are a wonderful, wonderful touch in building these characters and in building this world. So she's not going to go fully in the bottom. I'm going to put her in. She's a full-on Monet for the basic Other Mother. There's some stuff there, but overall it's just kind of meh. But when we go into the fierce Other Mother, after she transformed, when she's all spidery and spindly and her fuck ass bob just gets like way more severe, that's scary. If I was a child watching that movie, I would have shit myself. And it's quite cunty. And I mean, let's be honest, skinny legend. So she's going to go in costume party realness because I do appreciate her. She doesn't carry enough iconic status to hang with like the big swingers that we have, like Frank and Chucky and Carrie and stuff, but you know, she's good. I like her look. So costume party realness. Up next, our penultimate fashion victim is Leatherface. Leatherface, I specifically chose the Leatherface in a suit at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Arguably like such a beautiful shot when what's her fuck gets away in the back of the truck and Leatherface is swinging the chainsaw around and the sun setting. It's gorgeous. Oh god, am I about to do what I did with Sackhead Jason and base this all off of one shot? Maybe. I don't know, but like this Leatherface is like, again, I love a bitch in a suit. We talked about this. Also, I just love that she's painted the face. She's wearing makeup. She's trying here. She's putting in an effort. And I just also have such a soft spot for Leatherface. So I'm gonna have to put Leatherface in Slate It, No Really Call 911 in our second to top tier. Just because I have so much love and respect for Leatherface. For the look, for the suit. It's she's wearing her dinner best, everybody. I can't shit on that. And last but not least, we have Michael Myers. Ooh. Okay, so I have a little bit of a confession to make. And y'all might come for me on this one, but I don't like Michael Myers. I find him incredibly boring. And I know Michael Myers is iconic on everyone's horror Mount Rushmore. I get that, you know, and I have a lot of respect for Halloween and how it influenced the horror genre. I think that's all fucking great. And I really like the first Halloween movie. I think the first Halloween movie is wonderful. And I do like Michael Myers in that movie. But I think as a franchise, and just the mask oftentimes looks just goofy as fuck in a lot of these movies. And that's just it. It's like a mechanic's jumpsuit with a William Shatner mask. And is it iconic? Yes. If I saw him in my apartment right now, I'd probably be scared, but I just can't get past the fact that compared to so many other iconic killers like Chucky and Freddy and The Bride of Frankenstein and Pinhead, he's just underwhelming, you know? Michael Myers is like the equivalent of a cisgender man showing up to the Met Gala in a tuxedo for me. You know, like, where's the inspiration? Where's the excitement? It's not there for me. So, in what is probably going to be my most controversial ranking here, I am going to put Michael Myers in She's a Full-On Monet. If it makes you feel better, I put him at the top of that tier, but I'm just not excited by Michael Myers. I'm sorry. I find him boring. If you disagree with me, please let me know. Come at me in the comments, send me an email, tell me all the filthy things you want to say. I will die on this hill. Oh my goodness. Let's just recap one final time our ranking of horror movie killer looks. In our Spirit Halloween clearance, we have the urban legend killer wearing the fucking parka, and then the Black Bride from Insidious because of all the transphobic bullshit. Our next tier up, we have the full-on Monet. We have the Fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Nothing special there. The Strangers from The Strangers. That is the name of their movie. We have The Tethered from Us, the basic other mother with her button eyes and her mom sweater and her fuck-ass mom haircut. And then we have Michael Myers. Sorry, not sorry. In our third tier, Costume Party Realness, we have Heart Eyes, Leprechaun, Sackhead Jason, and the fierce other mother, the one that looks like a fucking spider. So cool. Our second tier, Slate It, No Really, Call 911, we have Leatherface, Candyman, Megan, Bagul from Sinister, Uber Jason, Daddy, Carrie White, Tiffany Valentine in human form, and then our classic Chucky. And then our top tier, the big hitters of this game, we have Ghostface, Franken Chucky, Doll Tiffany, The Bride of Frankenstein, Hockey Mask Jason, Freddy Krueger, Billy the Puppet, and Pinhead. Wow, that was hard. I did not expect to fall into an existential crisis as quickly as I did. I don't think I'm going to try to change anything, because if I do, I'm just going to be here all night talking to you and talking to myself, trying to justify moving things around. So this is where we're at right now. I agree with myself. If you disagree with me, please let me know. I would love to hear what your rankings are for these horror characters. And if I missed any, please shoot them my way. I will gladly do a round 2 of this. I love doing tier lists. It's a lot of fun because I just love giving my opinion when nobody asks for it. Anyway, stay tuned for the continuation of our franchise series. I'm going to get that Curse of Chucky episode out to you as soon as I possibly can. Until next time, cuties, don't be scared. Unless you're into that sort of thing. Bye.